Hi, my name is Jasmine, and my research material is porcelain. So the first thing you need to know about porcelain is that it's a type of ceramic, and there are three different types: bone ash, soft paste, and hard paste. For this particular presentation, I'll be focusing on the characteristics of hard paste porcelain. All three types are made out of a main component known as kaolin clay, and also smaller amounts of different minerals such as quartz, feldspar, and china stone. What differentiates hard paste porcelain from the other types is that hard paste porcelain requires a very high firing temperature, which causes the smaller amount minerals to melt into glass and combine with the kaolin clay to produce a finished product that has a very smooth and highly reflective surface. It's important to note that hard paste porcelain, because it fuses with glass, or because the kaolin clay fuses with glass, that hard paste porcelain behaves very similar to glass. We can see that here when we compare how light reflects off a porcelain surface. If we look at the top row of pots, we can tell that, or we can see the highlights are very fuzzy. They're not very clear. The edges are kind of blurred. And if you compare them to the pots on the bottom have a much more precise highlight, as well as smaller highlights on the spout and on the handle, to show that it is a very highly reflective surface. And we can also compare it to glass, and we can tell that both highlights are very sharp. It's also good to note that the shadow side will also have a larger or a more contrast than other materials. As you can see that there are a lot of contrast, especially at the bottom of the teapot, or this teapot in particular. So porcelain doesn't just reflect light off similar to glass, it also breaks and shatters like glass. So here we can see different patterns. So in the first picture we have the same shapes. So here we have a triangular shape and a trapezoid. And if you notice on the other pictures that we see the same shapes reoccurring. And the same goes with the bottom set, where we see the shattered porcelain pattern, and you compare that to shattered glass. Finally, here are some paintings of porcelain. The first painting I feel is more convincing. You notice the small attention to the highlights on the handle, as well as the rim of the cup, and also the amount of contrast in the shadow portion of the cup is very important. You can actually even see the donut here. The second painting, we do see a small amount of highlight, which is right here and right here. And there are very bright spots, like here on the left and here at the very end. But the problem is that the reflective light off the bowls nearby these bright spots are very diminished. So if we were to receive such a big amount of light here, there would be a lot more reflective light on this bowl. Also at this end as well, because this is also very bright. And yeah, basically here it'd probably be more highlights here along the rim and on these planes. So the thing to keep in mind when you go to render porcelain is to keep in mind that there are tiny highlights and a lot of reflective light, so you're going to have a lot of contrast in your shadow areas. This concludes my presentation on porcelain. Thank you for watching.